Good morning and welcome back to the channel. So in this video, I want to go over a number of different things, a lot of crypto related stuff, and also a lot of other things that are coming out right now that, in my opinion, everything is very connected at this point in time. And this is all leading up to something happening. I don't know what that's going to be, but things are really coming to a tipping point, in my personal opinion, all around the world. I'm not saying that this is going to happen today or tomorrow, but I cannot see this going on but so much longer. So in my personal opinion, what is happening right now is they are trying to shake as many people out as they possibly can before whatever happens. And that's just my personal opinion, okay? Because we have seen a significant divergence from on-chain metrics, which really should be the only way that Bitcoin is calculated. When we can see when every single Bitcoin moves, we can see when it moves from an exchange to a wallet, from a wallet to another wallet. We can see when ETFs have to buy more Bitcoin. We can see everything that's happening on chain. Every single time a Bitcoin moves, we can see it. So there's really no reason to calculate the price of Bitcoin in any other manner outside of the on-chain metrics. However, they have structured the pricing, which nobody watching this video and nobody on crypto YouTube can explain to anyone exactly how they calculate the Bitcoin price with any degree of confidence whatsoever. I can almost say this with certainty. So 99.9% of people on YouTube, on crypto YouTube in general, in the retail space, in crypto, do not know how they calculate the price of Bitcoin. So for that very reason, I don't know why so many people put so much stock into it. But since they do, I'm going to go over a number of different things that are happening right now and my general position on everything, which my general position has not changed ever since I got in this space. So it's going to be the same as it was yesterday and the week before and so on and so forth. So none of this is financial advice. I am not a financial advisor, so do your own research and make your own decisions. And I really want to reiterate that point that, you should make your own decisions. And I have made my decision. I've said this over and over and over again since the beginning of my channel. My position has never changed. My strategy has never changed. And that's why I'm very open and transparent. And I show people exactly what I'm doing, because I don't want to come out and just be like, oh, I'm buying the dip and this and that and the other, and not provide any real evidence that I'm doing that, because I feel like a lot of people on crypto YouTube do that. And for all we know, they're not even holding any crypto, or they sold a month or 2 months ago, right? It's not a popular opinion to come out on YouTube and to say, yeah, guys, I got out of the market and this and that and the other. It is popular to come out and talk about the potential of you doing that so you can scare people, like what BitBoy has done. And I hope that he sells all of his crypto today. This is going to be a little bit of a rant, guys, but I do have a lot of things to go over. But BitBoy better sell all of his crypto today. He said that if it dropped below 40K, that he was going to sell all of his crypto. Now, I've seen his portfolio. His portfolio is not big enough to have any major market moves. So if he comes out and says something, well, we have to do this very slowly because we don't want to affect the markets, he doesn't have $1 billion portfolio. So I think he has maybe like 20, 30 million, something like that in his portfolio. That is not enough, in my personal opinion, to move the market in any significant way. So if he does not come out today and sell his entire portfolio like he said he was going to, then he's full of shit. And all of these big YouTubers do nothing but distract people and repeat false narratives and lead them down a road that's going to have them confused and flooded out of the market, in my personal opinion. So he said he was going to sell, and he better sell. He should sell, or either he's just full of shit. And that's my personal opinion. And, I don't want to get too much into other narratives and things that other people say, but unfortunately, much of those conversations do drive the general sentiment in crypto. And for that reason, I do feel the need to address it as I get new subscribers. And, I've gotten like 200 new subscribers over the last, week or two. And so I just wanted to reiterate that point. My position is never going to change for this reason. The fact that this is the new internet and it's being rapidly implemented right now, those factors aren't going to change. So as long as those two factors stay the same, my position's not going to change. I'm not going to want to look back 5-10 years from now and say, okay, when the price dipped on the new internet and you had the opportunity to buy stock in these technologies that are going to essentially make up the new internet, you got flooded out of the market for whatever reason. Okay, so that's just that. But I do want to reiterate one last time, make your own decisions, do your own research. If you can't stomach it, right? If your conviction level is kind of wavering because of the price and so on and so forth, make your own decisions, do what is best for you. Okay, do what you are comfortable with and make a decision that you can live with. Okay, I've already made mine, and there's nothing that's going to happen. And when I say nothing, I mean nothing that's going to happen. It's going to shake me out of this market. I'm just going to keep buying, period. Okay. To that point, okay, so I'm now officially at 200 ICP, and I'm going to buy more over the next few days, probably significantly more. I'm probably going to wait to see if it goes back down to 20, which I hope it goes back down to 20. I said that a week or so ago. I hope it goes down to 15. I would be thrilled, absolutely thrilled. Okay, I can't overstate that there's, on a scale from 0 to 100, if 100 was me being very, very worried about all of this, and 0 was just nothing, it would be a 0. That's where I'm at. Okay, so I bought more ICP, and I'm going to buy more ICP, and I'm probably going to buy more quant as well. You know, Cosmos is still up 75% from when it bottomed out around 20. So I'm probably just going to leave my Cosmos position as is, but quant is just insanely low. So I'm probably going to have to pick up another quant. And to that point, I think everybody that's in retail that's been in for any extended period of time, you have bought, and then whatever you bought dropped. And I think 100% of people in retail can probably relate to that. And they're always going to be able to relate to that because that's how the market is set up. In my personal opinion, it is designed to FUD people out of the market. It is designed to get them second guessing and to get them continually, on the defense and off of their initial strategy, which is just dollar cost averaging. And that might not be your strategy, but that is, for the most part, a large majority of people's strategy who are in cryptos, just dollar cost averaging every couple of weeks whenever they get paid. So, all right, so that's that. Gone on a long tangent just to open this video. So it's really a very easy decision for me. I look at it as a binary thing. I have an opportunity to invest in the new system, in the new internet and financial system, with the new asset classes, with the new technology and the new companies that are being rapidly adopted by numerous different corporations. I'm going to go over this here in a second. Walmart, Facebook, and Instagram, Twitter, Google, Intel, Fidelity telling countries to buy Bitcoin. This all happened in the last week or so, guys. So, this is the decision that I'm looking at, or go back into the old system and just wait and see what happens. And the old system that they are intentionally destroying. And that's the thing that none of these other YouTubers are going to talk about in crypto. They're not going to talk about the fact that the old system is being intentionally destroyed. If there is a better explanation as to why they are implementing the policies that they are and destroying everything, I would love to hear it. But I can't come to any other logical explanation as to why they are doing this, other than they are trying to destroy the old system to make way for the new system. That's how I see it. Okay, this might not be how you see it, but I look at this as a very, very simple decision for me. Now, this does not mean that you have to be an all in one or all in the other. I don't believe that. But for me personally, I look at this as a very simple, binary decision. So that's that. But you should make your own decisions. All right, so let me go over some important parts here. They are intentionally destroying the old system. I can't overstate this. I can't overstate this. If you really do look at it as a binary decision, and I don't like just comparing these two because, again, I've said numerous different times, I have bought some additional silver. And if silver was another bubble, silver and gold, precious metals, I would also allocate a certain percentage to that as well. But if I'm looking at just these two, it's a very easy decision for me because they are intentionally destroying the old system. And the old system is cratering at this moment in time. And in my opinion, that's why they're doing what they're doing with the crypto prices. Because nobody knows how they calculate the price of Bitcoin. But yet people are going to make decisions based on something that they have absolutely no understanding of and no confidence in. So if they really wanted to give an honest Bitcoin price, what they would do is they would make a formula that is solely looking at the on-chain metrics, because we can see when Bitcoin, every single time a Bitcoin moves, we can see it. So for that reason, they should really, it should be the majority of the price calculation should be based off of on-chain metrics, but they don't want it based off of on-chain metrics. So they constructed an entirely different market called the OTC market, where whales can buy and it doesn't affect the price. They also connected the gambling market, the high stakes gambling market, with the spot price, so they can do things like what they did last night, and that's cause flash crashes through liquidations on people who are betting on the price going up. Now, I don't even have to go look at the liquidations. I haven't even looked at them. I can tell you already that there was a decent amount of longs, Bitcoin longs liquidated without even looking at it, okay? So there's that. There's a significant divergence from on-chain metrics. And if this happens over an extended period of time, which it has at this point in time, it has other times throughout Bitcoin's history, if you look back to where the price significantly diverged from on-chain metrics. And in situations like that, in my personal opinion, see, it's just it's so crazy that the on-chain metrics will show us everything that's happening, everything. Right? They can identify what's an exchange, they can identify what's an ETF, they can identify a new unknown wallet, they can identify all of those things. So that shows us everything that's going on. That shows us that more outflow is happening than inflow. That shows us that miner supply is continually climbing. That shows us all the other metrics like illiquid supply. It shows us all of those things, right? Including every single transaction that happens. And so that gives us all the information for the most part. And the spot price, no one knows how it's calculated. People do know that the OTC desk doesn't factor in. People do know that liquidations, for some reason, the leverage trading market is factored into the spot price, which makes absolutely no sense unless you're trying to, suppress the price to shake people out of the market. So we understand those two different things, but people put more stock into the spot price that they don't understand how it's calculated. They put more stock in that than they do the on-chain metrics, which in my opinion is just crazy. Okay. Numerous examples of whale accumulation. In the bull market, bear market scenario, and I've been saying this really since the inception of my channel, is a dumb narrative to created to FUD people out. And I go back to BitBoy's example here, and I'm not trying to rag on BitBoy. I don't like talking about other YouTubers, but he did say that he would sell if it dropped below 40. It is holding below 40 at this point in time. So he should stand by his word and come out and sell. And if he doesn't, I think that's very telling on what he was trying to do with a lot of his viewers. He was trying to plant the seed. He was trying to spread fear, in my personal opinion. But I think it's a dumb narrative that's just created to have stupid, binary conversations. It's the wrong question to be asking. The question is not, are we in a bull market? Are we in a bear market? The question is this the new internet? Is it being rapidly implemented right now? And is the old system cratering? Those are really the important questions, in my personal opinion. Because depending on the answers to those questions, is this the new system? Yes. Is it being rapidly implemented right now? Yes. Is the old system falling apart? Yes. If those questions are always answered in that manner, I don't care about anything else. I can't overstate that. Those are the only things I care about. So there's that. Walmart. I mean, this is just in the last few days, guys. It's just crazy. Walmart, Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, Google, Intel, Fidelity coming out and telling countries to buy Bitcoin. And I think that the only way that they can really confuse people and they can really convince people that they need to get out of the market is to be rapidly implementing it with all these crazy announcements coming out and dump the price, and to manipulate the price through any and all means that they possibly can. I want you to think about something. If you just look back a year from now, let's just say back whenever Bitcoin was the same price that it was a year ago, but it was on the way up. So everybody was super bullish. Everybody was super excited. And if you fast forward a year later, and let's just say we're at the same price range, people are the majority of retail is bearish. Okay, I looked at several different polls. The majority of retail is bearish and believes that we're in a bear market. And I just assume that comes along with them getting out of the market. I don't know, right? I don't look at things like bear market, bull market. I don't look at, and I've been saying this for a long, long time. So I assume that means that most of them have gotten out of the market, okay? But if you look at the two different time periods, last year and this year, and you look at the amount of adoption that's happened over the last 12 months, all big banks are in, countries are in, governments are in, all big corporations are in, big tech is in, all the big billionaires are in for the most part, 95% of them, and continually allocating more. So that's the amount of adoption that's happened. That's the amount of institutional adoption that's happened over the last 12 months. But because of the short-term price action, and it could even be over an extended period of time for the price action, they're bearish because they don't care about adoption. They don't care about the technology. They solely care about what the price does in a shorter time frame. When I say shorter time frame, you know my time horizon is longer, and this is a long-term play for me. That being said, I still do think that there's going to be a lot of things happening in the next 6 to 12 months, in my personal opinion, in regards to this market. Okay, and on top of this too, I could add Square, PayPal. There's a lot of other things that have happened. Okay, this is just over the last week. You know, I don't know what else people want to see, but again, they don't care about adoption. They don't care about the technology. They don't care about any of that stuff. They just, it doesn't, the only thing, it's a vacuum, short-term price action. The fear about the market is a retail only thing. This is only happening in retail. This doesn't happen with institutional investors. It doesn't happen with billionaires. They hope the price goes down because they want to be able to buy lower. And as opposed to adopting the same mindset that institutional investors have and the big billionaires have, retail decides to get caught in dumb, false narrative conversations. And that's just what it is, guys. It's a survival of the fittest, okay? This is survival of the fittest. Make your own decisions, do whatever you have to do, but that's what's going on right now. We're in the middle of psychological warfare on a level that has never been seen before. So understand that too. I think that Turkey is going to ultimately probably adopt Bitcoin. You know, what's his name? Bukele went to go meet with Erdogan, and, you know, Turkey's currency is collapsing. So I imagine that they will follow a similar path to that of which El Salvador did. Now, to the point about buying and then it dropping lower, if you've been in for any length of time, that's happened to you, it's going to happen to you again. That's just how the market is structured. You really have two choices. Oh, well, I should just wait. Well, okay, so when is that period over? Okay, I mean, you know, I'm also of that mindset, but I do it in this manner. So I have X amount that I'm going to buy this weekend. And none of this is financial advice. X amount that I'm going to buy this weekend. And then moving on from that, I'm going to set aside X amount for the next 2 weeks until I get paid again. And so that way, if it does drop further over the next 1 to 2 weeks, I still have some sitting on the side that I can go ahead and buy and continue to dollar cost average if it does drop down. Supplies low, illiquid supplies high, minor supplies high. They've been buying and hoarding. Numerous other on-chain metrics that I could go over, but, you know, I'm just going to talk myself until I'm blue in the face. Okay, so that's the crypto portion of this. I look at this as a very simple binary decision, and that's just pretty much how I look at it. And I put my money where my mouth is, and I have continually done so ever since I started this channel. This is not my whole portfolio, guys. This is just one portion of it. I have like stuff on 2 other exchanges, on 2 other ledgers. So there's that. Okay, and I will do a portfolio update, entire portfolio update. I have like 30 different positions sometime this weekend. All right, so taking a hard break from that, because I think that this is as important, if not more important, than short-term price action happening with crypto, because in my personal opinion, the system is imploding at this very moment all around the world, and we're about to see a rapid escalation in a lot of different things. And this is just, we're watching institutional collapse. That's what we're watching. And when I say institutional collapse, do I mean that buildings are completely crumbling to the ground and that all this other nonsense? No, but we're watching the delegitimization of all of our old institutions. This is happening intentionally. It's not by accident. They're not going to, you know, right the ship and turn it around and get everything worked out. It's not designed to do that. They are being told to do things that are intentionally destroying the old systems that we used to have. So when you're looking at this, just understand that the old system, they are intentionally destroying it. Can't say that enough. So in the last 10 days, since the report came out, the CDC admitted that the data was inflated. Fauci admitted that many of the kids were in the hospital with the virus, not from it. The Supreme Court shot down the mandate just over the last 2 days, which I have the different clips to go over here. Where are we at here? So the different clips to go over that the CDC is now acknowledging natural immunity. I can't overstate how big of a deal this is. They have ignored natural immunity for 2 entire years. They have made a lot of decisions, and many corporations have made a lot of decisions that put them with a significant degree of liability. I would not be surprised. I expect to see class action lawsuits in the foreseeable future over the next few months. And this is all leading up to something happening. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's going to come out of Russia and Ukraine. I don't know if it's going to come out of anything else, but something is going to happen. This is all leading up to something. Don't know what it's going to be. Don't know when it's going to happen. I have my theories, but that's all that they are because I'm just using the information made available to us. Okay, and it is very difficult to be able to focus in on the most important things happening when there are so many insane things happening and they're throwing so much at people. This is psychological warfare, period. You need to understand that. This is psychological warfare on a level that has never before been seen. Okay, so the CDC is now admitting natural immunity. And in this study, which I need to go over this because there's a couple different takes here. This is from the Hill. New CDC study compares cases and hospitalizations in people with previous infections and shots. Okay, so more or less, I'm going to read this off because I don't want to inaccurately represent the data or the study. So prior infection, more protective than shot during Delta surge, US study. And this is from Reuters. And you need to understand the implications of left-wing media coming out and saying this. They do not have to do this, okay? They do not have to do this. This was never, in my opinion, designed to be permanent. It was designed to implement policies that destroyed our institutions. They were not going to permanently hold any of these things, in my personal opinion. At this point in time, I think that what was done intentionally to destroy the institutions because they're now coming out and pivoting, and you just have to understand the implications of this. I mean, the liability associated with government institutions and with corporations is I can't really explain into words because I can't wrap my mind around how insane the liability is going to be now that they're coming out and acknowledging this and acknowledging that they screwed up. And this is only going to snowball from here. Okay, so let me read through this. The evidence in this report, all right, let me go back here. Okay, so basically what the report shows, and you should go read this report for yourself. You can just type in CDC natural immunity report. I looked at 4 different groups. It looked at individuals who had the shot, who had the virus and the shot, who just had the virus, and those people who had not had the virus and not had the shot. So 4 different groups. And what it showed more or less is the people who got the shot but had not had the virus were the most protected before the Delta variant. Now, after the Delta variant, once the Delta variant came out, the people who had solely natural immunity and the people who had the shot and had natural immunity were the most protected compared to the people who only had the shot, indicating that ever since Delta's inception, that natural immunity offers more protection than the medication. Okay, so just understand the implications of the fact that they are coming out and admitting this. There can be class action lawsuits that win in court. It's not about suing the pharmaceutical companies because they've worked out ins and outs to get around liability for that. That being said, government institutions that openly ignored science that can be proven in a court of law through numerous different documentations, the liability here is insane. And in my personal opinion, the blowback of all of this is the fallout. Like, that's the event. The blowback that happens against government officials, that's the thing. That's the thing that's going to melt everything down, in my opinion. We'll wait and see, but that's my take on that. But you should go read this article for yourself. And that's the general takeaway, was ever since Delta hit, natural immunity was more protective than medication, right? I don't want to inaccurately relay the study, so go read this study for yourself. but this is a huge deal that this is happening. And this was from CNN. I wanted to show numerous different headlines here. At first, those with a prior infection had higher case rates than those who were medicated with no history of prior infection. As Delta variant became more predominant in the US in later months, this shifted, and the people who survived a previous infection had lower case rates than those who were medicated alone, according to the study. So the fact that CNN is coming, and see, the thing is the only thing that really matters at this point in time is what happened after the virus started to mutate. Because saying that, oh, well, it was more protective back before it mutated, that doesn't do any good in present time. So they're implementing present time policies with data that does not support it. And the mainstream media, the left-wing media, is coming out and saying all that now. I can't overstate how big of a deal this is. They're coming out and saying this as the administration is simultaneously pushing policies that go completely against the data that the left-wing media is reporting. Okay, so all right, that's that. On top of that, all right, got more things to go over here, guys. A lot of stuff going on. Okay, let me just jump down really quick and cover this. The Russia and Ukraine situation. Be prepared for anything. This is why I've done numerous different videos on Russia, and understand that Russia has an agreement with the Saudis. Understand the implications for the petrodollar. And this is how you know that everything is fake and everybody is lying. Back to my video about everything is fake and everybody is lying. Nobody on the mainstream media, nobody that's talking about this Ukraine and Russia situation, they're not going to mention the word petrodollar. They're not going to say it. They're not even going to act like it exists. And they're going to talk about this conflict in a vacuum, like it doesn't have any implications for the US dollar as the world reserve currency and or the petrodollar and our status with Saudi Arabia and with oil purchases in the Middle East. So Russia has already came to an agreement with Saudi Arabia. I covered this numerous different times. I said that this could be the thing that is, said to cause the collapse of the dollar. It also could not be. All I'm trying to do is provide as much information as possible so people have a good picture of what's going on the macro scale. But, this could very easily cause the end of the petrodollar. If there's some type of serious, and you notice how these politicians have been ramping this up over the last few days. Do you want to know why that is? That's because they know this information is coming out. They know all this is coming out. They know the narrative is changing so fast it'll make their head spin. And so they have to distract, okay? They are very implicated, many of them, in numerous different crimes. And at this point in time, everybody's looking directly at them. And so they're like, Russia, Putin, it's, blah, 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 everybody be afraid. It's going to go to war. Right? Russia's invading Ukraine. They're going to go into mass hysteria. Okay, they're going to go into mass hysteria because they suffer from, their own prison of paranoia from all the crimes that they've committed. So what they're going to do is they're going to deflect and they, Russia, Putin, look over here, all this other stuff. These people should be ignored. They have no more legitimacy. And at some point in time, they're going to get thrown under the bus even more so than what they have already. And that's what's going to happen, guys. That's what's happening already. This is them being thrown under the bus. This is them being thrown under the bus by the left-wing media. Period. I mean, it's over. It's just a matter of time before everything falls apart. It might take a few weeks. It might take, and what falling apart looks like, I have no idea. But it might take a few weeks. It might take a few months. Who knows? It can't last but so much longer because legitimacy has collapsed. Okay, so that's that with Russia and Ukraine. And you understand the situation with the petrodollar there. You know that Russia has an agreement with the Saudis. You also know that Russia and China have talked about moving away from the SWIFT system. So this could have huge implications, and who knows how legitimate the situation is there. But I think it's very convenient that all of this is happening at the same time, guys. All this is happening at the same time. This is in the last 10 days. I mean, I can't overstate how big of a change it's happened in the last 10 days. So things are snowballing. On top of that, Walmart, Facebook, and Instagram, Twitter, Google, Intel, PayPal, Fidelity telling countries to buy Bitcoin, Square moving many transactions to the Lightning Network, which I did say was going to happen, but that's besides the point. So all of these things are happening in the last 10 days. All right, very important to keep that in mind. Okay, all right. So where am I at here? The timing of when the study, think about this. This study was done months and months ago. And granted, they might have been finishing it up. They might have been putting their final, dotting their I's and crossing their T's. But this study was released. Look at the timing of all this. They're suddenly now coming out and telling the truth. And it's not like the things that they are saying were not being said by numerous other medical professionals and outlets for many, many, many months, over a year at this point. And they ignored it and did something else that had huge implication and caused a massive amount of damage. And now they're coming out and admitting, actually, yeah, the other side was right the whole time. The blowback is going to melt the system down. It's just a matter of what that looks like and how long it takes. That's it. Okay. All right, England, the Czech Republic, and France have all now come out and said the Czech Republic government dismisses mandate plan. The UK lifts the restrictions, says the Omicron wave has peaked. Even in France, with an election approaching, sets a timeline to lift pandemic restrictions. The government set a timeline on Thursday to lift the country's virus restrictions over the next few weeks, So this is snowballing. This is snowballing. All of this is happening at the same time. This is from the World Health Organization. This is all from yesterday, guys. This is literally happening right now. WHO urges nations to lift travel bans and not mandate proof of medication for entry. And I even went to go make sure that this was something that actually was real. Yes, it came out yesterday. You can go look at this for yourself. Here are some quotes for it. In its recommendation, WHO urges its members nations to lift or ease international travel bans as they do not provide added value and continue to contribute to the economic and social stress on the nations. The failure of travel restrictions introduced after the detection and reporting of Omicron variant to limit the international spread of Omicron demonstrates the ineffectiveness of such measures at this time. That's from the WHO yesterday. Okay, so back to this. The media is completely turned. You have to understand that media, these are private corporations. These are owned by big billionaires, big investment firms, big giant conglomerates. They're turning on the public sector. Listen to what I'm telling you. The media is turning on the public sector. They are turning on public officials. They are throwing them under the bus. It is happening right now, given the severity of what is going on. This is not like a traditional scenario. This is not like, these politicians implemented a policy that didn't turn out well. Let's say that they wanted to, do something, right? Something with whatever, schools or with taxes or something like that. And just the policy blew up in their face, but it had very little overall damage to the society as a whole. That's a different story. These have such huge implications that if you do not have the media backing these people that are in power and defending them and lying for them and pushing propaganda 24/7, if you do not have that, the system will fall apart because they have no legitimacy. And now everybody is looking at them and they're heavily, heavily implicated, in my personal opinion, crimes against humanity. So just understand that this is going to snowball, and it's going to snowball very quickly. And then this is probably why they're doing what they're doing with the crypto price, in my opinion. I think that we're coming up on something. How long that takes, I don't know, but I think it's going to be big. And I think we're coming to the climax, I think, all right? Or a series of climaxes. Okay, so the media has completely turned. Okay, in many states, people are living normal life. People are getting arrested in New York without proof of medication. Viral video that was going around yesterday. I think even a little kid was getting arrested going into a museum because they didn't have the proof of whatever it is. That's just the report. I don't know, that might not be all to the story. I don't like to jump on stories without knowing all the information beforehand, but I mean, this is not sustainable, or this is no longer sustainable. This is just what that puts us 5 days ago. And this is all accurate, guys. You can go see it for yourself. Right? If go see it for yourself, the supply has just been continuing to go down. Illiquid supply has just been continuing to go up. Miner supply has been continuing to go up. Here you go. So that's just that. So this is what's happening, guys. The world is falling apart. Institutions are falling apart, and this is it. Okay, this is it. This is the collapsing of the old system and the transitioning into the new system. That's why things are rapidly deteriorating as corporations are rapidly implementing the new technology. You see how both of these things are happening at the exact same time. It's like this balancing act, okay? Slowly collapsing the old system while they're slowly or actually rapidly adopting the new system. So it's a binary choice for me, all right? But I want you to make your own decisions here. I'm not going to change my position. Doesn't matter what happens. Doesn't matter what happens. So that's all I have for this video. Not financial advice. Make your own decisions. That's all I got. Take care. Have a good day. I'll put out something else later tonight because I'm sure a lot of other crazy things will happen today. So I will report on them this evening. And I'm probably going to buy some more ICP, although that's not financial advice. Take care. Have a good day. I'll see you later.